It is Guns N' Roses right here on the Classic Metal Show from the GNR Lies release. I used to love her,
but I had to kill her.
Exactly. I want to thank the real Jeff Tate for calling in.
Yeah, that was a very pleasant surprise.
It was a pleasant surprise, and I will reveal that I did reach out to the real Jeff Tate.
Okay.
Earlier this week, and I said, hey, your presence has been missed here on the Classic Metal Show, so I hope you're well. And here he was.
Well, I'm glad he made an appearance, because he has really been missed.
He has been, and I see the chat room was very appreciative of his appearance on the show.
And I would imagine during the week, the people are going to go absolutely apeshit with the comments.
Absolutely. All right, since we spoke about I used to love her, this story kind of encapsulates everything that that song kind of depicts.
Okay.
Teens killed their mom because they couldn't take her complaining.
Wish they were my kids.
2 Nevada teens have confessed to fatally beating their mother and burying her in the backyard because they couldn't take her complaining.
Okay.
Dakota Salvador and Michael Wilson, both 17, were arrested earlier Wednesday after their mother, Dawn Liebig, that's Liebig, 46, was reported missing from her Pahrump home on Monday.
How does she have 2 kids the same age with different last names?
Well, apparently she banged it out. You know, pretty close between the 2 births, I guess.
She fucked the next guy before the stitches were out, apparently.
Apparently so.
Wow. Okay.
They now face charges of open murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and domestic battery with a deadly weapon and stabbing and bludgeoning. I hate to laugh about this, but this almost is like a Hills Have Eyes scenario. I mean, it's out in the middle of the Nevada desert. I'm assuming that you've been out to Las Vegas, the Pahrump, Nevada area.
Sure.
It's nothing but desert out there. If you go out beyond the Las Vegas metropolitan area, it is just desert out there.
Yeah, there's nothing there except maybe you run into Art Bell's house, and that's about it.
Well, that's kind of where I was going with this, because Art Bell lived out in Pahrump, and that's where prostitution is legalized.
Right.
So these 2 boys, 17, are out in the middle of this, desert area.
Right.
And they beat their mother to death.
Well, she probably deserved it, bitch.
An investigation was launched after a man from Idaho called the Nye County Sheriff's Office to request a welfare check on Liebig's home, claiming he didn't trust the children living at their residence. A detective later responded and found Liebig's cell phone but didn't locate her.
Right.
Leading him to open a missing persons report.
Wow.
And according to the arrest report obtained by the station. Investigators then contacted another man who claimed Liebig's son gave him differing stories about her disappearance.
Yeah, while borrowing a shovel from him.
The man who told detectives he believed Liebig was dead due to the type of family she is in.
What?
Due to the type of family she is in.
What type of family is she in that would lead to her being dead?
I don't know, mafia?
Yeah, I guess.
And again, I hate to laugh about this kind of stuff, but this is the kind of stuff that you see in movies.
Dude, I love this kind of stuff. Why do you hate laughing about it?
Well,
I love laughing at the ridiculousness of this shit.
Detectives then visited the home and interviewed Salvador and Wilson, who provided inconsistent stories about their mother's whereabouts.
Yeah, starting with their filthy clothes that look like they've been digging holes for 4 hours.
After a search of the teens' phones, again, this is where the digital trail always dupes people.
Mm-hmm.
And the discovery of texts that read, "My mom passed away."
Jesus. These guys are dumber than dumb.
I know. Wilson confessed that he and Salvador stabbed Liebig before burying her body in a 2-foot grave.
2 foot? Surprised a coyote didn't come and pull it out.
I hate to laugh about this, but it's so fucking ridiculous.
2 foot? Dude, if you're laying flat,
you're about a foot thick.
a foot and a half thick. You know, so they buried her 6 inches deep. The fucking wind blowing could fucking unleash her hand or something.
Well, digging a hole that deep, it takes a lot of effort.
And they're like, fuck it, that's deep enough.
Wilson also claimed that Liebig asked the teens to kill her before leading detectives to the shallow grave not far from the murder weapons were buried, according to the arrest reports.
Well, at least if she asked, it's okay then, right?
Yeah, just kill me.
And would you guys mind killing me now?
Right. And bury me in a shallow grave, will you, out in the desert sand?
Yeah, and we're just going to throw in the knives that we stabbed you with, too. just let you feel close to them. Not to hide them or anything. Wow.
I'm going to be honest. I love Las Vegas. I love the desert. But there is no fucking way, and I'm going to be honest with you, but I lived out in the desert for 6 years. I lived out in Victorville, California, and that's known as the high desert. Mm-hmm. And even though I enjoyed the landscape and the area and the surrounding and whatnot, and periodically I would just kind of like hike out there, there is no way, even just kind of being familiar with the area, that I would just hike out any more than, say, like a mile. You know,
see,
you would see jackrabbits, you'd see coyotes, you'd see kind of, you know, it's kind of like the horse with no name kind of situation. But there is no way, and I've been to Vegas so many times over the years that I would never venture out more than, and again, maybe a mile at the most.
Right.
Because once you get out into the desert, you're just kind of fucked.
I can't even imagine going like in a taxi on the main strip by myself. Because you get the wrong guy, they take you out in the desert, you're fucking done. What are they saying? Was it casino or whatever? You end up in a
there's a lot of holes out in the desert, and there's a lot of problems that are buried out in the desert.
Exactly. I'll pass.
Yeah. That is a barren wasteland out there. And, you know, I've been out to you know, the Pahrump area. I've been, you know, I've explored the desert area, Death Valley. And that is a barren wasteland out there.
Well, apparently Miss Liebig found herself to be a problem that got handled in a hole. Shallow one, but a hole nonetheless.
Yeah, there's a lot of holes dug out here in the desert, and there's a lot of problems buried in those holes.
Yeah, and one of them is Miss Liebig.
Exactly. So, anyway, so I used to love her, but I had to kill her.
Yeah, she's buried right in the hole in the backyard.
Right. And I can still hear her complain.
Yep. Good with Nathan down in the hole, losing control.
Exactly. So, I don't know, man. Things are just fucked up out there in general.
Well, dude, just a couple more years and we're jumping off somebody else's problem.